The strangest, most abandoned places in the world. You are not going to believe these are the strangest, most abandoned places in the world. Some of these abandoned places are unbelievably strange. The Abandoned Children's Hospital of Eastern Virginia. This is not a what but a how to. Have you ever wondered why so many abandoned children's hospitals are found in Florida? This explains it all. This abandoned children's hospital was featured in the documentary, Florida's Lost Children. It is located in Cape Coral, Florida, in Fort Myers. This hospital was no ordinary hospital. It was one of the worst in the nation. The Indian River Inlet Fishing Pier. There is an abandoned fishing pier in the Indian River Inlet of St. Lucie County, Florida. This pier was the perfect place to kill time during fishing season. Now, it is derelict. The pier and parking lot is covered with a thin layer of sand and is completely overgrown. The abandoned Eastern State Penitentiary. The Eastern State Penitentiary is a maximum security prison which was located in downtown Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. There are actually two versions of this prison, one was a building of orange brick and the other was a brutalist grey brick building. But the fact is that this place is even more unusual than it seems at first. This place was never used, and by the time it closed in 1971, it was almost completely empty. The building itself only had a few staff members to keep things running, and this was the main reason for this large empty building. The prison was eventually turned into the Eastern State Museum, which we've included below, showing off some of its exhibits. The abandoned city of Detroit. Image source. The beautiful and long-abandoned city of Detroit in Michigan is currently one of the biggest mystery in America. The city has seen such a massive decline in the last 30 years that many are now calling it a ghost town, and while there have been some efforts to revitalize the city, they aren't doing a very good job. The abandoned cement mill that stands where the city used to be stands alone and abandoned, and even the surrounding lakes have been frozen solid. There's not much left for any visitors to see. What remains is a deserted, ghost-like town that only ghosts and monsters have seen. Have you ever walked through one of the most amazing urban landscapes in the world? #Wanderlust is so serious these days. The abandoned lake city of the Taira clan. If you want to go back in time to the Yuan dynasty of China, but you're not too into the idea of marrying a noblewoman and being scolded by her concubines every day, the country's former capital is where you should go. In the city of Suzhou, formerly Taira, you can spend an hour learning how to pray and observe 7 seasons. Water City. Did you ever go on a field trip in elementary school that was a huge letdown because your teacher made you all stop what you were doing and go into a big room filled with old, dusty chairs? Well, that's what this city was. Oh, how I long to go back there and sit in the shade of the small mountains, gazing into the azure water beneath, and going on about how life was so different in those ancient times. The City of the Undead. Yes, this one's awesome. The abandoned fishing boat at the bottom of the sea. The Iona Deepsea Aluminium Dry Docks. Giant concrete discs at the pier. It's basically a bunch of concrete golf carts for empty parking lots. They basically left them there for 3 years without any maintenance because the price of concrete was so cheap. This one's in Bakersfield, California, and was still in a great state of disrepair. The cart looks like a tractor-trailer or oil rig, and it's huge. In 2001. Wisteria Lane. Alpha Texan home. As you know, your home's up to you. So if you're looking to pull off the ultimate white trash home, then you might consider this property that's just lying abandoned and slowly fading away over the course of the last 20 years. This model Alpha Texan has been a legend in its hometown of Laredo, Texas for some time. The abandoned geoglyphs in Kazakhstan. 1. The spine of Kazakhstan is carved into a network of caves and canyons. The stone mounds seen above are the remnants of the spine of Kazakhstan, an ancient network of caves where artists would visit to practice their art. It's thought that about 100 years ago, they scratched out images of their work onto the rock, creating the strange mounds that were once mistaken for depictions of God. 2. On a trip to see the pyramids in Egypt, geologist Robert Caldwell was also intrigued by a large volcanic rock formation in the middle of the desert. When he researched it, he found out that the formation was the result of an ancient civilization that used the soft rocks as ballast to bring their boats across the desert. The abandoned city of Angkor Thom. There is so much to see in Cambodia, but nothing comes close to the stunning beauty and historical significance of Angkor Thom. The entire city is found buried beneath one of the most stunningly beautiful lakes in the world. Check out the abandoned city of Angkor Thom here. Leakey's tomb. I was simply overwhelmed with joy when I discovered that Leakey's tomb is home to leopard skulls. Just incredible. It turns out that the tomb was actually once a dwelling of the famous archaeologist, and that his crew loved the leopards so much they allowed them to eat in the tomb as a way to say thank you. Ernest Hemingway's house. It looks like Ernest Hemingway's life could have been a movie script. After reading A Farewell to Arms, he decided to write a book about his own harrowing adventures. The abandoned Chernobyl nuclear plant. The Chernobyl nuclear plant is truly strange. This is the abandoned nuclear plant that was abandoned after it had melted down in the 1986 Chernobyl nuclear power plant accident. The plant was in one of the most densely populated cities in Europe. In 2016 the zone was evacuated, and several things went horribly wrong during the cleanup. The Lost City of Genoa, Italy. Abandoned beautiful town built on the Ligurian Sea in 590 and abandoned in 1847. Town was a medieval Genoese city for almost 1,000 years and beautiful architecture. Only parts of the city remain. It is the largest example of mid-medieval town in Europe. An abandoned hospital in Lucca, Italy. This hospital was abandoned during the cholera outbreak in Italy in the 1800s. The abandoned city of Hashima, nestled in a lush landscape of mountains and beautiful seas. The city of Hashima, also known as Gunkanjima, was a naval complex and the largest permanently inhabited city in the world. The island is now totally abandoned, but still teems with vermin and wild cats, making for an eerie sight. The Bridge of the Sun in the middle of the Amazon rainforest, a bridge nicknamed the Bridge of the Sun, has been left in a decaying state. For over 50 years, there has been little or no human interaction. The bridge serves as a path for animals and insects and also acts as a trap for travelers. The abandoned Bogotá Airport. The decaying Bogotá International Airport is the world's biggest urban ruin. This abandoned airport complex was completely abandoned in 1999. Conclusion: the world is full of extraordinary and bizarre places and people. It is also a pretty crazy place. Abandoned places are a great addition to a travel blog or website. All you have to do is post some of your pics and let people know about the places you have found. It is surprising how many people are really interested to know about these places. Sometimes it feels like you are doing something truly groundbreaking.